Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. And today, the Houston Astros crushed the Milwaukee Brewers 9-1. Great win for the Houston Astros to go to back to 500 at 18-18, 7-11 on the road. And I think this Astros team has to feel great coming back home for the weekend, getting tomorrow off, and then having a home series against the Reds. You've got to feel great, especially with the fact that how bad this Houston Astros team has played on the road this year and how good they've been at home. Here's the thing I would look at. The Astros started off 2-1 on the road this year. Since then, they are a total of 5-10 on the road. They've had a lot of road struggles. But, the thing I'd also mention is that the Astros this year are 11-7 when playing at home. And they got off to this terrible start at home this year, starting off 2-4 to the Giants and Mets. Offensively, it looked like they couldn't hit the ball at home, and that was a huge problem for this Astros team to start the year. But ever since then, they've played a lot better baseball at home. Like I mentioned, 11-7 at home. Since the 2-4 start that they had at home, they are 9-3. So this is a team that has played really good baseball at home, and the reason I'm talking about why the Astros should be really confident going back home is because in their next 23 games, 16 of those 23 games are at Dyken Park, where the Astros will play. We'll play 16 of those 23 games in Houston, and there are only two. And the funny thing is, there's one of the road series that they will have in the next 23 games is against Tampa Bay, who's not been very good this year. The other is the Texas Rangers. That should be that series that the Astros play the Texas Rangers, which I believe that will be the first time the Astros play the Rangers here. It should be a fun pitching duel. Those are two teams that have been two of the best pitching teams in baseball this year, and then two of the worst offenses as well. So Astros Rangers, when we get to see that, should be terrible hitting, amazing pitching for both sides. Some really good pitching games I think you'll see for the Rangers and the Astros when you see those two teams go at it. But unbelievable win for this Astros team today. Like I said, to get back to 500 going to home, where that is where this team plays their best baseball, I think that has to feel great, and especially with the offense, the way the offense looked in the 6th and 9th innings of this game makes you feel good. And Framber Valdez, the way he looked, definitely as well. It's great to see him pitch like that. Look, his last outing, I said yesterday, you can go back and watch my postgame for yesterday. You might not want to hear about how brutal the Astros looked yesterday, but I said it yesterday. With Framber Valdez on the mound, he is due for a win. He got that win. We have not seen Framber Valdez get a win since opening day. The Astros did get a win when he pitched in Seattle, but Ryan Gusto got that win because it was an extra innings game. It was a 12-inning game in Seattle. Framber was great in that game, but he didn't get the win because the offense didn't back him up. And, we haven't seen Framber Valdez get a win in almost 2 months. Well, not almost 2 months, but a month and a half, basically. Because Framber got a win opening day, looked lights out opening day. We haven't seen him get a win since then. We've seen him get a couple losses that he should deserve. Like, for instance, he got a loss in Kansas City, went 8 innings, gave up 2 earned runs. The offense didn't score 1 run. Like, that should have been a win for Framber Valdez right there. We should be talking about how Framber Valdez is 3-3 with the outing that he had in Kansas City. So Framber, this record really should be 3-3 and 2-4, but he was so due for a win. And so, especially after struggling against the White Sox his last outing like he did. But 7 innings, 3 hits given up, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks. Amazing outing for him. 9-1, like I said, 8 hits for the Astros, 4 for the Brewers. A lot of walks for this Astros team today. A lot. 2 errors for the Brewers, 0 for the Astros. Win goes to Framber Valdez. He's 2-4 in the year. 7 innings. I just went over that. Loss goes to Quinn Priester, 1-1 in the year now, 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks. Scoring summary, Zach Dezindo. That was basically all at Astros. Scoring summary, And then scoring summary, Zach DeCinzo, RBI double, score Myers. Myers goes from first to home on this double by DeCinzo. It's 1-0. Pena with a grounded into fielder's choice to score DeCinzo. And it's 2-0. And then Rogers scores on a pass ball by Hayes, and it's 3-0. But Hayes backs it up by fifth inning. Next inning, hits a home run to center, crushes it 425 feet. And it's 3-1. So you get a little bit worried. Framber starting to give up, some runs or a run, and it's a 3-1 ball game. But don't worry, because Jeremy Pena is here. His second, third, and fourth RBI of the game with the 379 feet home run to left. Myers scored and DeCinzo scored 6-1, his fifth of the year, and now he is the home run leader for the Houston Astros with 5. I wouldn't, if you're Pena, I wouldn't, claim that, just yet, because there are some guys behind him trying to tie it up. There, you've got Christian Walker, Jose Altuve, and Isaac Paredes, and then I believe also Yanner Diaz, but I could be wrong, but I know Altuve, Isaac, and Christian Walker all have 4 home runs. And with Isaac Paredes, with the Astros having 16 of their 23 games, upcoming at home, that sounds like some opportunities for Isaac to hit some bombs. And with Jordan out, I wouldn't be surprised if pretty soon maybe Christian Walker and Isaac Paredes could be in the home run leaderboard for this Astros team. But it's not like Pena has some great lead on them, because you've got Altuve, Isaac, and Christian Walker, who are all one behind from tying. So, but still was amazing home run for the Astros in the 6th inning to make it 6-1. But speaking of Isaac, he hits an RBI single. He actually had a really good day. That was his only hit, but he reached base 3 times today, and a single to right for an RBI in the 9th inning to score Pena makes it 7-1. And then Yanner Diaz of the RBI double to left to score Altuve and Isaac to make it 9-1. So great there by Yanner Diaz. They bring in 2 RBIs. He's at 16 RBIs now in the year. It's crazy. Yanner Diaz is number 3 in the Astros RBI leaderboard. And we were, just not too long ago, Yanner Diaz was struggling, barely, through like the first, 10, 12 games of the season. I think he only had like 2 RBIs. But he has really started to hit the ball well for this Astros team. And he's not far behind the 2 guys that, he needs to pass. He's tied with Jeremy Pena for second. Yordan Alvarez is at 18, but Yordan's on the IL. Yanner Diaz wouldn't surprise me if he could be the leader in RBIs for this Astros team, soon. But so he was killer today. At least at the end of the game, Yanner was. All right, let's go over the Astros hit leaders, the Astros individual batters. Jeremy Pena was the only guy to have multiple hits today for this Astros team. Even though this offense was so good today, he was the only guy with multiple hits. He had a home run to left in the 6th inning, a double to left in the 9th inning. Great day for JP, 2 for 5, batting .279, 4 RBIs today for Pena. He's played really well since moving to the leadoff. Altuve at DH got his first hit in the 9th inning as a 35-year-old. Altuve, it took him about 7-8 at-bats to get that first hit as a 35-year-old. It was an infield single. Even at 35, he can still move. And it was the infield single made it a first and third situation. And after that, you saw Isaac bring in Pena, and Altuve moved to second. We saw Isaac get that RBI single right there. He had walks in the 5th and 7th inning, struck out his first 2 at-bats. And then Yanner Diaz, Christian Walker before Yanner Diaz moves both Paredes and Altuve to scoring position. An unbelievable ground out. It was an accidental ground out. It was a foul ball that stayed fair, but it was still perfect ground out by Christian Walker in that 9th inning to move Isaac and Altuve to scoring position. And before that, he had a 5th inning walk to load the bases. He had a single. He had a single to left that got him safe at second on the fielding error by left fielder Collins. That was one of their errors. In the 4th inning, a single for Walker, and a walk to load the bases, and then an amazing ground out that leads to Yanner Diaz hitting in 2 RBI double. Before that RBI double, it was a bunch of ground outs for Yanner, a double play ground out in the 7th inning, ground out to second in the 5th inning, 4th inning ground out to third, 2nd inning ground out to shortstop. All right, Jake Myers, 1 for 2, single to center in the 2nd inning, walk in the 6th inning, a deep fly out in the 9th inning, and Jake Myers scored 2 runs today, made an absolute amazing catch today in center field. I forgot what inning it was, but an unbelievable diving catch in center field for Jake Myers. That's why he's out there. Zach DeZenzo killed it today. 1 for 2, a double to left for an RBI to score Myers from first to home, his 7th RBI of the year, and then 2 walks in the 5th and 6th inning. Great plate appearances for Zach DeZenzo, ground out to shortstop in his last at-bat. And you just got to feel bad for Mauricio Dubon. Went 0 for 1 with a foul out to first on the first pitch. And the reason I say you have to feel bad for Mauricio Dubon is the fact that, Dubon, he comes in late defensively for Zach DeZenzo, which is the right move by Joe Espada. But the thing is with Dubon is he had a 7-game hitting streak, and he only had 1 at-bat to keep that 7-game hitting streak alive, to turn that to 8-game hitting streak. And so now Dubon's hitting streak is over because he only had 1 at-bat today. This is how baseball gods will treat you, and this is what I can see for Mauricio Dubon. His next game, he'll at least have a hit and might have multiple hits. That's how the baseball gods will treat you. But you have to feel bad for Doobie. And then Brendan Rodgers went over 3 after his 3-run home run yesterday. He did have an 8th inning walk and scored a run in that 5th inning, I believe. Yeah, scored on the pass ball, but was safe at first on fielding error by second baseman Durbin. It was another error, and DeZenzo to second, and then the 8th inning walk for Rodgers. So got on base a couple times. Had a really nice foul out to center in the 6th inning to get Myers to third. The Astros did score in that inning when Pena brought in Myers and DeZenzo off the home run. So not a terrible day for Rodgers. It was a terrible day. Chas McCormick, he did have a sacrifice bunt in the 5th inning to get Rodgers to second and DeZenzo to third. So that was good. And Jeff Blum and Todd Callis, the Astros announcer, said that Chas McCormick is leading the league or leading the American League in sacrifice bunts, which is crazy. Chas has the least amount of at-bats as an Astro. That will happen when you're the 9-hitter, though. But a sacrifice bunt for Chas, flat out to right in his first at-bat, but then struck out swinging, fouled out to first in the 8th inning. I would say it was a little bit surprising. Chas had 4 at-bats today, or 4 plate appearances today, and only struck out 1. So I'd say that's impressive. But, yeah, I went over Framber Valdez. Brian Abreu pitched for the 2nd straight day. Yesterday, he struck out the side in like 11 pitches, something like that. Today, he pitches the 8th inning. Another game for Abreu where it's a lot of strikes, 5 strikes and 6 pitches, no strikeouts, but gets the 8th inning done in 6 pitches. And Josh Hader pitches the 9th. Only the 3rd time in Josh Hader's career where he pitches in a 8-run lead. I think there were multiple reasons why the Astros wanted Josh Hader to pitch in this game. He had not pitched since April 29th, so it had been about 8-9 days since Josh Hader had pitched. The Astros have the day off tomorrow, so that would have been another off day for Josh Hader. Another thing, this was Josh Hader's former team that the Astros were playing, and he had never played, in this arena or this park, playing the Brewers. So I think that was another added bonus to Josh Hader pitching, and I think I think Josh Hader started off this inning a little rusty because that's something that is, a closer's not used to, going out there in an 8-run game. And so he gave up a walk right away, gave up a double. And so I don't think it's anything to freak out about because a closer's not used to a situation like that when you come into a 9-1 ball game. And he's only done that in 3 times in his career. But he finished that inning on a good note, got 2 strikeouts, got the inning done. Not a save for Josh Hader because it was 9-1, but the Astros get a win 9-1, and you've got to feel good about the way this team played today, coming back home where this Astros team will play 16 of their next 23 games at home. So that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out. Go Astros.